Hello, guys. Welcome back to the multimedia channel. I hope that you all had a very great weekend. Well, I know that for Manchester United fans, it was particularly a very disappointing weekend. Of course, after that 3-0 thrashing by Manchester City, just see how Manchester City were feeling on top of the world, and then Manchester City that clearly, have been struggling. So in our reach Manchester United turn, they are now looking like they are the world best. It was crazy. It was disappointing for Manchester United fans. Well, I know that for Arsenal fans all over the world, it was a very interesting weekend. After that very strong win, I think it was 3-0 or 4-0, and then of course for Liverpool fans, it was a particularly interesting one. After the last minute penalty that was scored by Mohamed Salah, against Burnley. That very crucial EPL encounter. Well, talking about Manchester United, it was another disappointing weekend. It has almost become a culture. Week in, week out, this club keeps disappointing the football fans. I have had some of my friends ask me, almost, what do you see they do with Manchester United? Can't you publicly just declare that you're no longer a fan? Like, why do you always love to watch the club even when they keep disappointing? I'm not lost hope, really, but the club really needs to do better. I'm not talking about that match from the beginning to the end, except maybe when Kobe Mino came on. All right, like I was saying, I don't think any player was particularly, outstanding for me. From the goalkeeper, to Shesko wasn't particularly outstanding, but it wasn't his fault because he didn't really get, as much supplies as was expected, and I could tell the striker is really becoming frustrated. I just hope that he's not wishing that he would have gone to a club like Arsenal, because of course at Arsenal you already have Gyökeres scoring I think 2 or 3 goals already in the Premier League, but it's not too late for him. It's just that of course the club needs to develop a better pattern, or a clear setup that would, allow the wingers to really, always give him the supplies that he need. The guy has got the height, he's got the physique to really score goals, but it's sad that he's not really banging in goals yet. But like I said, it's not too late. He's got the potential, and he would get there. Hopefully, he would get there. Now, talking about Manchester United, I feel like it's about time that Coach Amorim, really sort of, what's the word now? It's about time he, sort of reconsidered his decision or his pattern. Playing back three for Manchester United is clearly not working. It's clearly not working. I don't know why he's finding it difficult to change that pattern, but the formation is really costing the club a lot. It is really costing the club a lot, and I just feel like with this 3-0 thrashing, he would really reconsider his decision. You can't play back three with Manchester United defenders that are not as fast. All right, I'm not saying they're not fast at all, but they're not as fast. If you watch that game against Man City, you could tell that our defenders are clearly struggling. Maguire was supposed to, chase after Erling Haaland for that third goal, but he couldn't. He did, but of course he couldn't get to the strike, and of course we saw the goal, and it was really disappointing. All right, so I feel it's about time, that Ruben Amorim, looked at his formation again and then see. The back four formation works for the Premier League, which is of course by far about the the fastest paced, tournament, the world over. It's a very fast paced tournament, or league rather. So I just feel like Amorim really needs to reconsider his decision. And also talking about formation, I'm wondering why you would have a Kobe Mino on the bench who is not injured. He's trained over the week, and then you're deciding to play Ugarte in the midfield. All right, you're playing Ugarte, and then you're leaving out Kobe Mino, you're leaving out Casemiro in a game as crucial as against Man City. Amorim really has his work cut out for him. He really needs to go and think of how to use these players. He's been playing them out of positions, and that is not really helping matters. I mean, that's part of reasons why the club is really and clearly suffering. All right. So I know, like I said when I started, for Manchester United fans all over the world, I mean, many of them have already given up. All right, so people are already questioning whether or not the management should sack him. You know, I even had one person say, okay, even if you decide to sack him, who is available, who is in the market for you to go and get? I remember that, you know, at some point, some 2, 3 years ago, Manchester United made contact with Zidane. I don't know how that arrangement really ended. So, who again is available? Is it Mourinho? Who exactly is available? Or do you think that Amorim really needs more time in the club? You know, just share your thoughts in the comment section as usual. But I feel like, you know, this side has a great potential. And another question, you know, that keeps bugging my mind is, why would you spend so much, you know, to bring in a goalkeeper? Okay, it wasn't really so much, but why would you spend to bring in a goalkeeper you brought in? I mean, what's wrong with really, you know, throwing him right into the field to, you know, compete? And that we saw that with Manchester City, and of course, you saw how Donnarumma kept a clean sheet. You know, the very powerful saves that he made, including that one, you know, by you know, several of the players, with quite a number of attempts. All right. I'm wondering why Manchester United didn't, you know, decide to play the goalkeeper. It can really get disappointing because usually players come into teams with expectations. That, okay, I'm coming in to just get right into the. Fine, it's okay to argue that, okay, because he just came in, he's, you know, still trying to get used to the players and the pattern and all of that. But of course, we saw what Donnarumma did. All right, so they just threw him right into the match, and of course, he proved why, you know, the club went all out to get him. So Amorim really has his work clearly cut out for him. You know, many people are saying he's not fit for the job. You know, there are those who are saying that, okay, he really needs to just look at his formation and then play these players in their rightful formations. All right, and I feel like, if you ask me, I feel like he needs more time. But most importantly, he needs to look at the formation. He needs to know where to play these players. He needs to play back four and not back three. In Manchester United, back three would not work. Of course, not with this current crop of players, except maybe in the future they're able to get, you know, very strong defenders who can be, you know, really concentrated from the beginning, you know, to the end of the game. And of course, talking about attempts, I think the most outstanding attempt was those ones that were made by Mbomo. You know, apart from that, the club didn't really have as much attempts as such. And then it speaks to the fact that a lot of work remains to be done. You know, the players are not scoring goals. It's really disappointing. It's really, really disappointing. And I just wish that after that yesterday's game, they will go back to the training ground, and think of how to really get better and think of how to be competitive, because clearly Manchester United is not competitive. And I know that I was one of those who, you know, when the season started, I was one of those who really were hoping or believed that Manchester United would finish in the top four at least and finally qualify for the Champions League after a long time. But that is changing, you know, with what we've seen in the, I think they've played about 4 games so far. That is changing, and I don't know. It's not looking like they might just need to struggle and finish maybe top 10, but of course, outside of the top 4, 5, 6, or 7. Yeah, they just need to do better. I find it's okay to argue that, I mean, it's too early to judge, but I mean, usually you know how far a club will go if you ask me from the very beginning of the season. And of course, you see clubs like Liverpool already putting in the best. They are the only ones who have 100% so far, you know, and they are 3 points clear at the top of the table. And then it shows you how really committed and determined, you know, the club, the coach, and the players are. Well, I mean, we're not seeing that in Manchester United, and then I keep wondering, it's now beginning to look like the players are also even tired of Amorim's formation, and he really needs to, you know, look at that and see how he can do better. So just, you know, as usual, share your thoughts in the comment section. Do you think Amorim is really the best coach for Manchester United? Do you think that he needs more time? Or do you think that he just needs to work on his formation and then things will begin to fall into places. Should he be sacked? If yes, who is the available option? Who do you think is going to do the job better? So just share your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. As always, bye for now.